Good day, everyone. My name is Umhlanga and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I give you insight on what it's like to be homeless, surviving the streets, and also how to rehabilitate oneself once you have left the streets. I had something going in the background, so I had to check that there was no killing. But anyway, for today's video, I will not be focusing on questions revolving around homelessness, but I will be doing a story time about when I walked from Durban-South Beach to Umhlanga Rocks for a job interview at a call center. Yes, okay, so let's start. Well, I think you've watched my previous story time regarding where I come from, how I got to varsity, and the hassles that I went through in order to get accommodation. If you haven't watched, go back and watch in the other video. So, after I had obtained accommodation, basically student residence, I then had to figure out how I was going to pay tuition fees and also student residence fees because I did not get NSFAS. NSFAS is student funding, and at that time for stipends or for meals you would only get 600 rand. Yes, to all South African students that are watching this, yes, once upon a time in South Africa, NSFAS offered only 600 rand for meals and only 600 rand for your tuition books. Yes, unlike now where you are balling and getting more than 1,000. But anyway, since I did not have any funding, I then decided that it would be better if I got a job, even though I didn't know how I was going to balance varsity and also working as well, because I was a full-time student. But I also noticed that fees need to get paid in order for me to come back the following year, because this one was not going to stay at home. No way, not after experiencing freedom. There was no way I was going to stay at home. And it's so unfortunate that some students get to experience that due to lack of funding, whereby they'll study the first year and then the following year they can't go back to varsity because there is no money. So I was trying to prevent that from happening. So what did I do? I got onto what's the site? Gumtree. I got onto Gumtree and I started looking for a job. I started looking for part-time jobs and full-time jobs as well. I go through Gumtree because also I'm using free Wi-Fi because I was staying at student residence and I was also getting free Wi-Fi from the campus as well. So every day I would go through Gumtree and then I would apply. Well, because I had already typed up a CV, so I would just apply, send an email, and then apply for a job. This one job response, I'm not gonna name the company, but it's great. It's a call center that is great. If you work in Umhlanga Rocks, you know what I'm talking about. And so this call center replies back and they request that I come for an interview. Now here's the biggest problem. I do not have money to take a taxi from Durban-South Beach to Umhlanga. So because I'd basically have to take two taxis. I'd have to take a taxi from South Beach to Market, and then from Market I would get a taxi from Durban to Umhlanga. So then I asked around, I asked my roommate at the time that, okay, where do I catch taxis from Durban to Umhlanga? He told me. I went to the taxi rank and I asked how much the taxi fare is. They told me at the time it was what, 10 rand, but I was so broke that I didn't even have a 10 rand, because also I would need a 10 rand to go there and I need a 10 rand to come back as well. So I just figured, you know what, since Umhlanga, I can literally point at it whilst I'm at South Beach, I decided I'll just wake up early and walk over there. I then decided that's the best option, and I figured that it was more safe for me to walk on the beachfront, because I would leave early in the morning because the interview was at 10 a.m. So I then decided, okay, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at 3, and then I'm going to leave race at 4. The sun arose, or the sun got up. Yeah, you know what I mean. The sun, it ascended. And it was morning, and then I started walking. So I walked near the beachfront on the sand. You know the sand that's near the ocean, the sea? Yebo, I walked there. I walk up until I got to Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon is like a river that enters the sea, the Indian Ocean. Then I had to go across the bridge, because obviously I can't walk across a river. So I went up, walked across the bridge, then I had to go back down to the sandy beach and walk there as well. So I literally walked for 4 hours. I walked for 4 hours, and if I had taken a taxi, it would have taken me like probably 30 minutes to get to Umhlanga. But since I was walking, I walked for 4 hours. I walk and I noticed that, okay, I'm now at Umhlanga Beach. Then I walk up towards the restaurants that are near the ocean. I ask around, because my roommate had told me that I must ask people to show me Gateway Mall. And once I was at Gateway Mall, I would then be able to get to this call center. Then I ask around, and also people over there in Umhlanga were like, don't you know what Gateway is? Because apparently if you are in Umhlanga, you're supposed to know where the biggest mall in that area is. But because I did not live over there and I did not work over there, I did not know. So I asked around, I asked people that worked there in Gate Mall, and then they showed me the call center. Then I walked towards the call center. I arrived at 9:30. I was almost late since the interview was at 10 a.m. I arrive, Rogodo, I get in, and I enter. And once I entered, I was led to a room filled with other individuals that were there for an interview. And I'm like, okay. And then the first question that was asked is, who got an invite? And firstly, what I noticed was that the people that were going to be interviewing us, it was literally individuals from one racial group or from the same ethnicity. I'm not going to name the racial group, but it was not this color or this race. It was not. And that's the first thing I noticed, that eyeball. Where are the black people? I don't know, black people in management here. Okay. And then I sat down, and then of course the individuals that were going to be interviewing us arrived, and they sat across a table from us. And the first question they asked is, who got an invite? If you didn't get an invite, you will have to leave. Of course, your boy got an invite. However, there were individuals that didn't get an invite, and they had to leave. And that just also speaks, that just raises the alarm in terms of the rate of unemployment in South Africa and how long this cancer began in South Africa concerning unemployment. Because now you have people that know that there's a call center that usually hires individuals. However, even though they didn't get an invite, they decided to take a chance and come. Just, you know, to take a chance. Anyway, those individuals were told to leave, and then the people that were invited got to stay. And then what shocked me was this. Then we were told, okay, the interview is starting. And then in my mind, I'm like, I've heard of interviews, even though I've never done one, because I'm a first year student. But I've heard that an interview is between the interviewee and maybe 3 or 4 members of a panel. But now I'm saying, like, there's 30 people in this room that have come to be interviewed for a job, and we are all going to be interviewed here, all at the same time. It's like, yeah, there's no job I'm gonna get here. And so we get interviewed. They ask us to state, basically just do myself, or tell me about yourself. You know that question, tell me about yourself. And so you have to stand up and tell them about yourself and explain why you're applying for this job and what have you been doing up until this point. And I did all of that, but I did not tell them that I'm a university student, because my roommate said, don't tell them that you're a university student, because they might not hire you, because the people that are working there might not even have a matric certificate. Another red flag. That's why you'll find such high unemployment amongst graduates in South Africa. And so the interview was conducted, and then we were told, okay, we'll be informed after a week whether we were successful or not. And okay, after that I left. Of course, I did not have money to catch a taxi. I was hungry, but I decided, you know what, I'll eat once I get to race. Then we decided, okay, I have to walk back. I literally had to walk back to race. Another 4 hours of walking. I arrived at race at about, because the interview ended at 11. So I arrived at race at about 5. Yes, 5 o'clock, because my roommate was already back from campus. And I was tired. My feet were swollen. I nearly said bloated. And arrived back at race. I ate. I didn't even have food because I didn't have groceries. So I ate my roommate's food. But he had told me that it's okay if I dish up, before some of them think, he was stealing his roommate's food. He told me that it's okay for me to dish up. And then I waited for my results regarding the interview. I wait. By that time also I had applied for NSFAS for next year. I did what other students do in order to get NSFAS. I'm not going to mention what other students do in order to get NSFAS. I'm not going to say it here, but you'll all know what students do in order to get NSFAS, especially if you don't have a grandparent. Yeah. So I applied for NSFAS, and I was just waiting, and I waited for a week, and I did not get a SMS or a call stating that you can come and work, you are successful. I think maybe it was not my time to work, and also because I think it would have disturbed me regarding my studies. So I did not get that job. But what I did get though was the NSFAS. Yes, so I got my NSFAS in my 2nd year of varsity. and that's how I was able to complete that qualification. And yeah, that's the end of the story. If you watched up until this far, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I'm saying thank you because you really didn't have to watch. There's a lot of content out there that's edited perfectly. The people that are YouTubing are using expensive cameras. You could have watched that content, but the mere fact that you're here, I think. Anyway, please do like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, please do comment in the comment section. And yes, yeah, we will remind you to subscribe and to comment and to like, unlike over there at Mosaka. Over here, you will be reminded. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you in my next upload. We have been struggling for a long time.